It's alive! It's alive! Alright, welcome. Thank you for checking out this quick video. So, recently I released a collection of short stories that introduced some characters from my first novel. And as of today, my first novel is live and you can buy it and read it and enrich your life. This world that I've created is based off of mythology, and it's not any particular mythology. Much like C.S. Lewis did with the Chronicles of Narnia, I've pulled from pretty much anything that I liked. So the very foundation of it was Greek, but as I explored the subject and did more research, I pulled things from Norse mythology, I pulled things even from Persian mythology. So pretty much anything that I thought was cool and interesting, mostly if I thought it was interesting and added to the story, it's in the book. So one of the reasons that I started this whole project was because as a reader, I got pretty frustrated with the fact that most fantasy type stories really seem to just be rehashing Tolkien like over and over and over again. Some of those authors have done a great job and made really interesting worlds, but we see this very consistent thing where we have elves and dwarves and orcs, and it's just kind of repackaged. Again, some of those authors are fantastic and they've done a great job, but if you look at mythology, there is so much more material that you can use. That as I read some of the classics myself, I just felt the need to dig into some of that. In this world, we have fauns, we have dryads, we have cyclops. You'll see mention of centaurs, even though they're not introduced in this story. We even have griffins, but they're not in this book. That's coming up in a story that's upcoming. So I actually wrote this draft 10 years ago, so a lot has happened since I wrote the draft as far as developing the world and developing the story. In this book, in this novel, and I have to point out, it's not small. It's not a small book. It's, yeah. But it is, don't let that intimidate you. It does seem to be a fast read for most people. A couple people that did some test reading for me early on, surprisingly, kind of almost depressingly, honestly, as much effort as I put into this, but I've had a couple people that actually read this in 2 or 3 days. So it doesn't have any dead spaces. It gets started, it introduces the world. So in the first place, what this story is about, essentially, it's titled A Prince of the North, and it's about 3 faun who travel from their own region, which is in the northern part of the continent they live on, to the southern coast, and they're in pursuit of a very specific person who they think knows something about a very specific rumor that they're trying to track down. So that's the premise to the story. I don't want to give you more than that. And as they do that, some other things develop because there are other characters and other things, and other people have their own plans while these 3 faun are in pursuit of their rumor. That's all I have for you today. I really appreciate you watching the video. In the description you will find links to the book. You'll find links both to this novel and to the collection of short stories that precedes it. I'll also include a link to my new website. That website is super basic right now. It's just, but it serves the purpose that I need for now. I'll develop it as I release more projects, but for now it's just Agogi Publishing, so agogipub.com. But I feel like I've used up all my words for the day, so I am done speaking. I'm going to go probably hide under a rock somewhere and try not to speak for a few days. And in the meantime, what should you do while I am not speaking? Because I've used up all my words. I know what you should do. You should read a book.